Hello FlossTube, hello Kitchen Stitchers. This is Arlene and Chef Dave, and it's September, and that's one of my finishes from the last couple of weeks. And David had a birthday last weekend before last.
14th.
Yes, and October's my month, so
Yes.
he had a very good seafood dinner.
Oh, yeah. And I'm still kind of savoring it. It was wonderful.
So yeah, we went to a place called Papa Do's. It's Cajun seafood, and I'm not a big seafood fan, but they have a really good, if you go at lunch, they have a really good shrimp po' boy, and I have a friend from Louisiana who had introduced me to po' boys, and they're just about as good. The bread is really, really good.
Oh, yeah. Outstanding.
So he got the crab cake salmon with crawfish, shrimp, and scallops. Yeah, so anyway, that was
Wonderful.
our news. So you're talking about spaghetti.
Spaghetti. Okay, spaghetti, you're thinking, okay, that's a lot of work. First thing to know, you know what the first thing is to know about spaghetti? Don't wear a white shirt. when you're making it.
Yeah, okay.
Bad
Well,
idea.
with the sauce, you're talking sauce.
sauce,
Yes,
yes.
yes, yes.
Okay, so with the sauce, spaghetti sauce is basically tomatoes if you're making a tomato paste sauce. And it's tomatoes that have been blanched and had their peel taken off and thrown into a pan, and they saute them down, they start cooking down, and they eventually will start turning into a sort of viscous liquid. And to that you add spices and tomato paste, and it's a lot of work. Or you can find usually a pretty good sauce in a jar.
I'm just going to say I make a very good spaghetti sauce.
She does. She does. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but it's good.
Or you can find, like I said, a pretty good sauce in a jar, and you can kind of doctor it up. And because what they do is they take tomatoes and cook them down and add a little tomato paste and put a little spice in them. Pretty much the same thing we all do when we make our own spaghetti sauce. So what I do is before I start heating the sauce up, I like Prego. A little plug for my favorite product.
It's sweeter than most.
I'll
So it's
try.
pretty
Yeah, it is sweeter than most. I think in this area, people prefer a sweeter tomato paste. We have a pizza place around here. It's a chain, and they have their tomato sauce is very, very sweet, and everybody loves it. So anyway, I'll mince up some garlic and put it in a saucepan, and with a little olive oil, and I'll start browning that, and then add the sauce into it. You can add some fresh mushrooms into it while it's cooking down, and the mushrooms start absorbing all the sauce taste, and it works out really well. A lot of sauces too will have a bitter, acidy taste, and to counter that, some people will use a little baking soda in their sauce. I prefer to put a little sugar in the sauce. I think adding baking sodas to a sauce is
like a teaspoon or a table. How much sugar?
Not much. I'll put depending on how much sauce. Like if I use a big jar, I'll put maybe a couple of big teaspoons, heaping teaspoons in.
He always makes way more than just for the two of us.
Yes, but gotta have enough. And I also,
When we first got married and he would make spaghetti, he'd give me a plate of spaghetti that was like this tall. He'd make the whole box for the two of us, and I don't eat that much.
Yeah.
He started whittling it down as I was trying to tell him I really don't eat that much.
well, then there was culinary school too, and that kind of taught me a few things about portion size. Okay, so you want to cook your sauce down. You want to cook some of the water out of it, really, because watery spaghetti sauce, when you got your spaghetti on your plate and you got a big puddle of water underneath your spaghetti,
I thought sometimes that happened because you don't drain the spaghetti very well.
that happens too if you don't drain your spaghetti. But a lot of times too, it'll come out of the sauce because you've still got a ton of water in the sauce. So yeah, cook it down, and that could take a while. So this is This is where your liquid reduction skills come into play, like with fruit and other things. So you get your sauce cooked down to the point where it's a good consistency, and you.
In other words, thick.
Right. Yeah. Like if you go to Italy and you ask for, well, if you get their version of spaghetti, you get a lot of pasta with about this much sauce on it. It's just enough to maybe almost flavor the pasta. I prefer more because more is better.
Sometimes.
So I'll cook the spaghetti. I'll cook the pasta normal way. Salt in the water. I don't put oil in the water because if you put oil in the water, the pasta will get oil all over it, and then the sauce won't stick to the pasta. It'll just roll off. So you want to get your spaghetti cooked to the point where you like it. Some people like it al dente. I like it a little bit more done. And drain it really well and put it back in the pot that you put.
This was always a really good tip when he told me how to do this.
You put the spaghetti back in the pot that you cooked the spaghetti in, and let it steam. And that the steaming will, it evaporates the water out of it, so you don't end up with, again, another puddle of
Now
water.
you just have it on the stove, not with heat on. It's just on the hot stove after the flame is gone.
Right. I'll put it on the grate where it was, and the grate is still hot, and it's enough heat.
So you're not really trying to cook it or
No.
burn it. It just lets
No,
that
otherwise you
steam
get-
come off the hot pot.
Otherwise, you get crispy spaghetti.
All right.
So then what happens is the pasta, since it doesn't have any oil on it, it sticks together. So to fix this, after you get it back in the pot and it's steamed itself off, take a few spoons full of your sauce and put it into the pasta and toss it around. And this makes the spaghetti absorb the sauce so that it doesn't stick to itself. Now here's where my presentation gets different from some other people's. Is I will actually take the spaghetti and portion it out and put it into like a frying pan, and then I will put sauce into it and heat it up and toss the sauce with the spaghetti, and I'll add, at least on mine, I'll add Parmesan cheese into it so the cheese kind of melts into the sauce.
It's really good.
So then when that gets nice and melty and hot, take your tongs and pull the spaghetti out of the pan and put it onto your plate and give your tongs a twist so your spaghetti kind of goes into a little ball. This is presentation. Then
See, there's one advantage of being with a chef, aside from the wonderful things he makes. He also makes them look very pretty on the plate.
that's the spaghetti. That's basically a mess on a plate.
Right.
So ladle a little sauce over top of it, and if you like meatballs, which I do, and meatballs is a whole nother
Conversation, yes. Maybe part 2 next time.
I'll put a few meatballs around the outside of the ball of pasta and drizzle a little sauce on them, and then sprinkle some dried parsley around just for color.
Let's make it look pretty. See, I like it when we cook the hamburger or a combination of hamburger and sausage in and mix that with the spaghetti sauce.
and make
so you get a
meat
good
sauce.
meat sauce. That's my favorite. But I do like his meatballs. So
I make my
that's good.
meatballs out of pretty much sausage and cheese and breadcrumbs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's good.
they're basically sausage balls.
Yeah, and we're not having spaghetti tonight. Now I'm hungry for spaghetti. We don't eat a lot of the starches anymore as we're trying to watch weight.
I wanted to have rice tonight, but
No rice. No rice.
So that's all I have. Was there any questions?
So
anybody?
for me with the sauce, I'll oftentimes when I'm making my sauce, I'll add some wine into it, some sweet wine. And if I don't have wine, then a little jam works. Grape jelly.
Absolutely, and that was something I completely forgot about. And I used to do this when I made Italian sausage. I'd make a sauce to go on the Italian sausage, and I'd put grape jelly in.
It's good. It just adds just that little bit extra for the sauce.
My
so.
sister thought it was disgusting until she tried it, and then I think she does it now too. So,
Awesome.
so weren't any questions?
Nope, no questions that I saw.
Nobody cares.
Yes, they care. They just are loving. You just make them hungry. Hopefully they're watching, and they have a place to go and eat or fix for themselves. There's still some good cooks out there too, so
Yes.
they like to commiserate.
I've seen some of the comments that some of the people have made about it. It's how they make stuff. And yes, there's a lot of good cooks out there. This isn't rocket science.
Yes. So it's good. All right.
That's it.
Thank you. I got lots of stuff. I always feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to have anything to talk about. And then the 2 weeks goes by, and actually at the beginning of last week, I got something in the mail that made me really, really excited. And I was almost tempted to jump the week and do it last week, but I waited. So I'll share with you. One thing somebody said is they wanted me to hold up my stitching for a little bit longer. And so I tend to not do that because I don't know why. Because I feel like I'm bragging, but it's not that. I don't know. So I'm going to try to hold things up longer so that you see them. And so I got a message last week from Sharon Worm, last week or the week before, and she liked what I had done with the Barnwood buttons. So I'm going to show this up here again. And it says, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you. And then it's got the scripture over here, from Matthew. And she said she really liked that, and so she got the Barnwood buttons and decided to do that, and asked if I could send her the instructions for that. So I ended up going ahead and charting out the verse and how you would do that on here. So if anybody is ever interested in that, if you do Barnwood buttons and you want that, I'm happy to send that to you. Just let me know. So this is Barnwood buttons. And I think I had the information in here. I think I told you last time what what this was from. So I also finished October, but I didn't finish it, so it's not fully finished. So there was October. So I did September and October this month, and so I was very happy when they both came to me from Beach Cottage Stitchers. And then I finished autumn, so I was working on my cross-eyed cricket autumn. And I got it finished. So this was on 40 count. What I found on my 40 count was that I needed to I did over 2, but when I started to do it with 2 strands, it was too heavy, it was too much. So I ended up going down to 1 strand. And honestly, since I learned about the pin stitch start, I always hated to work with 1 strand, but with a pin stitch start, it's really easy. So I love that now. So that's really freed me up to be able to do 1 strand. So there's my autumn. I thought that looked really nice. I like the leaves and the owl in the tree. It's very fun. So that felt like that took me forever. But 2 things happened this week. I finished my projects that I had set aside, and I finished a book. I was reading The Storyteller's Secret, which is a great book. If you look that up on Amazon, it's actually set in India. And so I finished my book, I finished my project, and it's always so sad when you finish things you enjoy, like a book or a project. So I started looking around for what I wanted to do. And so I decided, until I could show you the other thing, that I would start up on this. So I've taken the Halloween Hijinks Jane's Joy collection, and that's by Carol Manning Designs, and I am doing it on 36 count, and it's Peoria purple, and it's weeks dye work. And so I just started it last night, so this is what I got done last night. So that was kind of fun. And this is 36, and I find that with 36, I can actually do 2 strands over 2. Sorry, residual cough from the cold. And I like that. It looks nice and complete, and it's not hard to stitch with the 2 strands over 2. So I really like that. So I'm working on that until I finish the other thing. And then I'm always looking for June and August kinds of things, because it seems like there's a dearth of that for me in what I have, and I always look for some good Thanksgiving things that are kind of fun. So this is what I had picked up for that. So I'll get started on that at some point in time for June through August, but it'll probably be after the first of the year. And then I had a couple of finishes that I picked up from my stitch shop. So this was one that I was working on for a friend of mine who is a seamstress. And I just think this is so cute. So she did it pink on the inside and the blue on the outside. So that was fun. That was a fun finish. And then she did my May. So that looks really nice. She did some extra strands on the cording. And then this is Barbara from from Keepstakes, which is my local needle shop. So that looks really nice. So I'll be very excited when May comes around and I can put that out there. So, I did what I promised I would do. So on my Silk Lovers Stitchy box, I opened all my stuff up until this point, so you didn't have to see me like work through the bags. So one of the things I got, which was really nice, was some neutral fabric. It is 28 count Lugana, and it's called Light Ash Gray. So that's that. So that looks nice. I'll see how big it is. I didn't check that out. So small, something for a small. Not a lot of it. And then there's a bunch of beads. So I got, oh, this was nice. This is little filigree flower focal, like they're not, I don't know, would you call those buttons? Filigree flowers, so those are kind of fun. I already have a thought of where I might put those on a project. And then these were really fun. These were natural hand-cut amethyst beads. I'm a purple fan, so I'm pleased with that. And what else do we got here? Some hand-dyed crescent colors, prickly pear, pearl cotton floss. I don't think I've ever seen that on in skeins like that. And then, oh, this was kind of fun too. So it's, oh, there's another one I was thinking. So this is for finishing. So it's a silk dupioni for finishing the back of something. And that's fun. That's nice. Nice piece of silk. I also had some Delica seed beads, opaque silk glazed light purple. Now this says light purple, but to me they look more like they're white. I don't really see a lot of purple in that. So, but they're pretty. And day 16 here. Oh, this is the thing that I thought was really, really neat. This is sari silk, which is just so apropos since I was reading that book with some Indian customs. So this says, it's recycled sari silk ribbon and yarn. A great way to add bright, visually interesting embellishment to your finishing and support small businesses at the same time. Try using the yarn in place of rickrack or other trim. So that's recycled sari silk. Isn't that fun? That's kind of fun. And then this I love. It's Dinky Dyes silk in the purple. I love purple. Love it. Love it. So that's making me very happy. She also sent a brick of beeswax. And it says, yes, you can use beeswax on silk threads. This bar comes from a lovely little bee farm near my home in Washington. I used beeswax when I was dealing with my bagpipes. And there's cotton hemp that would go around the drones, the stalk of the drones, to hold them in and keep them tight. And you would put beeswax on it to give it a, so it wouldn't get soggy when you're blowing into it, and it gets really humid when you blow in from your breath, and so that would help protect the seal and also make the cotton a little bit resilient when you were putting the drones into their stocks. And then this is a vintage silk wrapped beads. Those are 3 purple ones. See those? So, she says it's lovely for a scissors fob. And then some more. These are Swarovski silk. It says silk 10 pieces, but there is a crystal, so I don't know why that's silk. What does she say about that? A subtle bit of sparkle to contrast with your silky stitches. And 2 more. These are kind of interesting. They're twisted bugle beads, rainbow medium blue. So you can see that they're kind of, so those are fun things to think about where you might use them. I think that would look good with like the stems, the pistils of a flower. And then there's some silk twisted 3-ply cord. That looks to me to be, it says, doesn't say a color that I can see, but it looks, oh yeah, it says blue. It's blue. And then the last thing was a pattern. Now, this is not my thing. This is a sampler pattern, and it looks like this. So if you are interested and would like me to send you this pattern, I am happy to share that with you. So if you like samplers and this is your thing, I am more than delighted to pass this on, because that's not something I would ever do. So let me know in the comments if you're interested in the sampler, and I am, like I said, will be happy to pass it on. I'm a couple days behind, but I'm not going to bore you in opening those here. So I wanted to move on to the really fun, exciting thing, and that was from Nancy Waller, the Shadowbox from Faithworks. She sent it in this great little backpack. Look at that. Cool ghouls. Isn't that fun? That is so fun. I haven't even opened it. I was just going to wait for you all to open this because I'm so excited about it. I was excited about it to begin with because I just think these little sampler boxes are so different, and it gives you all the finishing. So she included the foam board to oh no, that's something else. I don't know. I'll have to take a look. And she's got the fabric, so it's a gray fabric, and she included the specialty threads. So you can see there's some all kinds of goody stuff in here. And this is what the sampler looks like, and there's 2 more that will be part of this. And those are the mat boards to fit into the box, and I can't wait to paint the box. So here's the box like the Americana one was, and this smells good. It smells like freshly cut wood. So I have to look at the, this was the little potion bottles, I think is what's in here. So these are going to be so cute, and of course she's got a nice little knot here. But I was so excited the way she sent that in the Halloween backpack. It's just so cute, adorable. Of course, the whole thing is adorable. Nancy, you are so creative if you're watching this. So creative. I really admire you. So here's the here's those little potion bottles. There's Bat's Brew. And there's 2 others. Bat's Brew is one. How cute are these? Oh my gosh. Skull's Tonic. And the last one is Spider Eyeballs. That is so fun. It says it's copyright Susie 2019. So that's fun. I have a very artistic cousin, and her name is Susie. And I always spelled it that way, though I don't think she ever spelled it that way. So I am very excited. Okay, here's the finished version of it. I'm going to probably do a little different. I'll probably do black on the outside and then do something with bright green and purple, or purple and orange. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. So I can't wait to jump in and do those, and you'll probably see that in 2 weeks when I'm finished. So yeah, very exciting. I know there was something else that I was going to tell you all, and I always like blank out at the end, and I always think about these things when I'm not in a place to write them down. But anyway, I appreciate all of you out there, and I hope you have a wonderful week. I know I'm coming up on an anniversary on this Saturday of 3 years ago when my dad was last in our house and had to be taken away with an emergency vehicle. And I know you've all heard the story, but it's my time to remember and thank our emergency responders, because they were so awesome with my mom and the sheriff that came back at 3 in the morning or 2 in the morning when she was trying to haul out all the garbage from the mess that was created from that whole process, and he came back to check on her and help. So talk a lot about those first responders, but just I'm very thankful for them. So anyway, we hope you have a wonderful 2 weeks, and we'll see you in a bit. I look forward to your comments. Take care. Bye-bye.